Okay, so we are going to interview Angela. She just went Emerald, got the $5,000 bonus. I have a bunch of questions to ask her. I just shared them in the chat so you guys can see what questions are coming. And if you're like, I really want her to touch on this, then I want you guys to really utilize the chat. So keep in mind, she has 3 kids. She's home by herself with them. So we are going to move fast. She's going to probably talk fast. So get a pen and paper ready. Get whatever you have ready. This is recorded so you can share it with your teams or you can watch it again. So Angela, I'm just going to go through. First, I'm going to let you share just like a little blurb about yourself so people can get to know you that don't know you. And then I'm going to go ahead and just rock on with the questions. So go ahead and share a little bit about yourself and maybe even how you and I met.
So I'm Angela Williams. I'm in Arizona. I met Danielle through a mom's group. To be honest, I can't even tell you like when. I think we might have been friends for at least maybe a year before we even really finally connected with It Works and stuff. But that just goes to show you like all those people that you're adding through interacting and stuff on your mom's pages. You never know when they're going to come through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I used to be a teacher. I went to school to be a teacher. I taught for 6 years. And then when we adopted our first son, Bentley, and when he was 4 months old, I got pregnant with my son, Christian. And so I went back to work after Bentley, but I did not go back to work after Christian. 2 kids in daycare was not happening, nor did I really want that. And right at that same time that I found out I was pregnant with Christian, my husband had joined the police academy and changed careers. He used to be a teacher too. So I was a stay-at-home mom. This is Christian, who's supposed to be watching a movie. Say hi, bud. There we go. Scared him away. And so I was a stay-at-home mom, and I work part-time with another job as well. And that's what I did at first. But then, I think Danielle, you messaged me, when it was, yes. And it was funny because I remember it very clearly. It was my husband and I's wedding anniversary, and she messaged me and my husband was still sleeping. And I was like, well, maybe. And I was giving her, I don't know if excuses is the right word.
You said that you were just too busy. I don't have time. I'm too busy. I just can't.
Exactly. And I had told her, I was like, the thing is I'm an all or nothing person. And so I know that if I say yes to you, like, I'm not going to just be someone who just does it a little bit here and a little bit there. And so that's what I was afraid of. Like, I have a 3.5-year-old, a 2.5-year-old, and at the time I was pregnant with Nora. And so, but then, we just built a house a year ago and we have a dirt backyard, and I really wanted a pool. And I happened to really be thinking about it right when, like, literally, it's weird, the day that Danielle messaged me. And I think because it was the $9.99 deal, too, I was actually kind of already thinking about it because I saw it in my newsfeed. So, and then I just went for it. I told her I had to talk to my husband about it. And then I was like, he won't be up for a few hours. And then I think I messaged you like 10 minutes later and said, screw it, let's do it.
You did, because I said, listen, I want to get you started now. Like, I was doing the whole like stress urgency in a positive way. So she messaged me 10 minutes later and said, okay, just sign me up. He's sleeping, so it's fine. And I definitely remember engaging in her post because I was like, oh, gosh, like she's, law enforcement husband. And I remember like they held up a picture or they held up a onesie when they were announcing that they were pregnant. And we were right around the same time. So I was like, she just seems like somebody that I would really connect with. So I started engaging in her post so that she obviously was seeing my stuff more. Mm-hmm. And then of course I messaged her on the $9.99 deal and she got started. So, and she didn't just sit there and do nothing. When she first got started, she was like, all right, let's go. What do I need to do? And she's a really good multitasker, as you're probably seeing right now. So, all right. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the questions. Most everything is pretty much based around this last month and her deciding to really push for that Emerald bonus. So number one is, what is your daily schedule? So obviously you're super busy. You have 3 kids, but on a daily basis, like what did you do throughout the day that, you like made sure you had to get done?
Yeah. So like you said, it's hard because I have 3 kids and my husband's not always here. So I can't necessarily say my daily schedule is the same every day, but I definitely have things that I make sure I get done every day. One of the first things that I do every morning is my chart. So I have my chart right here on my desk, and every single morning, that's the very first thing I look at. It has what my volume is. Right now, since it's only the second of the month, I only have written down like what volume each distributor has. But as we get closer to the end of the month, I was adding in like, okay, I'm making up a name. Anna needs 50 BV left. So I would circle 50 and write that, because Danielle taught me this. It was easier to look at what I needed left than what I already had done. So I was like, oh, that's a Fit 15 pack, like, you know, or something like that. So that's the first thing I do every single morning, so that no matter what, I have it in my head where my chart's at. Facebook posts, obviously. To be honest, though, it's kind of funny. This month, yes, I did my Facebook posts, and I did them pretty, regularly, but I didn't put as much effort into them as I had in past months, because I was focusing more on messaging and relationships and things like that, because going live, I tried to do that more. But I feel like, and Danielle has touched on this recently too, that I feel like there were some times where I was spending so much time planning out these Facebook posts, I wasn't even really getting much from them. Like, that's not where yes, that's where you get the word out, but that's not really entirely where you get your customers from, if that makes sense. So I do make sure my Facebook posts are up, but it's funny, this was my highest enrolling month, and it's probably the month that I didn't spend like forever planning out every single word of my Facebook posts.
And I think that's important to note, because I've even said before that we spend so much time on our Facebook posts, and then it's like I shared with my Rockstars group chat, I edited a picture, and it probably took me like 10 minutes to like get the post together and whatever. And I probably got like 2 likes on it. And then I just threw up a picture of whatever, not edited. I didn't even put any good words with it. And it was like 80 likes. And it's like that, like, we spend so much time trying to perfect our posts, when really it's what you're doing behind the scenes that's going to help you build your team and get those enrollments.
Yep.
So,
and that's what else I was making sure I was doing every single day, was the green light messaging. Like, at least 30 minutes, probably closer to an hour at least, every single day of green light messaging, and doing those birthday messages. I know we all do those for the most part. I utilize the Diamond Dreams power hours as much as I possibly could. And if I couldn't get on them, I checked the Facebook page to see if the tasks were posted. And if not, then I just repeated a power hour or something. But I probably power houred every day, at least, 5 or 6 days out of the week, at least.
Okay. And that was one thing that I was always like, you were so good about. You, and of course, Angela and I talked every day, but she would have the craziest day ever. And I'm like, oh my God, how did you get on the power hour? I could not get on the power hour. I couldn't even function. Okay. Number 2, I know the answer to half of these, but when did you decide that you were going for the bonus?
Honestly, February 28th, when they announced that they extended it. February was a really rough month for me, actually. And I know, I wish that I would have gone for it in February, to be honest, because it would have made this month that much easier. So those of you that have 2, maybe even close to 3 months left, it's so doable. Because really, obviously I'd been working since the beginning since I signed up and stuff, but I didn't go hard for Emerald until March, because I had such a rough month in February. So it was, probably February 28th.
All right. How did you stay organized?
Like I said, I chart every single morning. Writing down my volume, that is so important. If you don't know your volume and what you need, that was one of the biggest things. I have my planner right here on my desk with me. Took it with me pretty much everywhere I go. Danielle and I are going to the gym every morning. And
into the gym.
Yep. Planners into the gym, because we get 2 hours of childcare at the gym and we work out for an hour. So we would meet in the cafe afterwards. But that kind of leads to another thing too, is utilizing your upline. I probably bugged the crap out of, maybe bugged is not the right word, but talked to Danielle so much throughout this month. And like, I just signed a customer. What do you think I should do with it? Or what kind of, asking her for help with challenges and things like that.
And I'm going to say this just because I don't want to sound like mean when I say it, but if Angela would have come to me constantly and said, hey, I signed a customer, what should I do? I'd be like, Angela, what did we talk about last time? What did I teach you? Like, Angela, the thing is with me, like, I taught her, like, when you get this, like, this is what maybe you could do, and da, 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 da. So guys, by the end of the month, like, she was like on it. Like, she knew what to do. I would be like, oh my God, you just signed 3 customers. Like, what are you doing? And she would already, I challenged this person, this person, this person. Like, I need them to be, they've got this. And she had it all covered. So I just want to like clarify, like, go to your upline, but you have to be learning as you're doing it. And this is getting you better prepared to be a leader, getting you better prepared to lead your team when your team is doing this. So don't just like ride it and go with it. Make sure you're learning as you're going, because Angela is now going to coach 2 people on her team. Well, hopefully more, but at least 2 people on her team to go Emerald this month. So that's how it all works. It's called layered leadership. So it's layering it down, and we continue helping people on and on type of thing. Okay. And this one I love. I really love this question because Angela and I, again, talked every day, and I know those ups and downs that she went through. So I want you to kind of talk about that. Did you feel defeated at times? And if so, how did you kick it? Like, what did you do?
Yep. So definitely. There were a couple times where I said, this is not going to happen. There's no way. I'm 2,500 BV away or whatever it was at the time. Yeah. But I just kept telling myself that, I didn't come this far for nothing, first of all, and I wasn't going to go down, like, I was going to go down trying, even if I didn't make it. And, and it kind of, like, February kind of taught me a lesson, too, in a way. Was, like, if I would have at least, like, not that I didn't do anything in February, I did, but that's a whole nother story. But, I had a rough month in February. But if I would have at least, like, pushed a little harder in February, this month would have been easier. So I had that in my head that, like, even if I don't get it this month, like, next month is going to be easier if I work hard this month, so just not giving up. And there were so many customers I signed this month. One girl is one of my best friends that I've been trying to get to sign since day one. And she finally signed this month. So it's just like consistency and I don't know, just don't give up. You don't know unless you try. I know I would have just been pissed at myself if I wouldn't have pushed hard.
And there were so many times that we would talk and she'd be like, she would be mad at herself for not signing a customer that day. And I'm like, you signed 3 yesterday. So I would talk to her about stuff like that. And she was like, I don't care. I'm just like frustrated that I can't get a customer today. So she was really hard on herself because she had goals and she had a standard, of what she wanted to meet. And here's the thing that I want you to take away from that is that if she wouldn't have had those goals, signing a customer every day, then she wouldn't have worked really hard to sign a customer that day when she didn't sign a customer that day. So you have to set your goals. You've got to know what you're working for. So like right now, say your Emerald chart, you're basically filled, you have 1 spot left for distributor, and you're just really pushing for volume. You've got to figure out how to get there. You're good. So you've got to figure out what do you need to do to get that, to get to Emerald. You've got to figure out what those goals are. Okay, well, you need 1 more distributor. Okay, that needs to be your goal right now. And I'm telling you, you have to be prepared that somebody might quit right before you go Emerald. So you've got to have people in your, don't just discount and say, I only need 1 and then move on from there. And then you have to figure out, okay, I need these many customers. You're not going to do the whole thing yourself because you have a team and your team is working with you. So you have to pour into your team just as much as you're pouring into your own business. And that's really what this is about as well, is pouring into your team, pouring into your leaders and helping them reach their goals. And, something, with Angela and I is that, if somebody is pushing for executive and they need a distributor, but you really need them just to push for customers, they have their own goals. So as their leader, you're not just telling them what to do for your goals, you're pushing them so that they're reaching for their goals. And that's something that I think this business has really taught me because I learned from somebody like way above me that was telling me to do things that was benefiting them. And that is something huge that you always have to be pushing with your team for their goals. So Angela and I always, would remind ourselves of that as well. All right, the next question to ask her, I'm trying to think if I can help with any of these things. Let me talk about the chart a little bit, because that was something that I really swore I taught her daily on like what works for me and how to chart daily. So I'm just going to show you a quick flash because I don't like talking about other people's charts, but okay, you can see it's highlighted, right? So I go through and I have everyone's name, and then as they reach 400 or are commission qualified, in that leadership spot, once they're 400, they get highlighted. Okay. So that you in your mind are thinking, okay, I have 14 spots on my chart. 6 of them are highlighted. Okay, awesome. I'm halfway there almost. Like, let's go. We got this. We've got 7 more people, 8 more people that need to get highlighted. And then you know which people you really have to not get on, but which people you want to help get into the 400 club. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about the chart just while she was gone there. So, okay, we're going to go back up to number 5. Did you get a lot of no's? How did you handle that?
Yeah. So yes, I think we all get a lot of no's, and so I do, those of you that don't know me that well, I do 2 jobs. I also work with foreign exchange students, and I'm not sure if I've heard it with It Works as well, but one of the things we're always trying to find host families for our exchange students. One of the things is like we do with our team is the 100 no's challenge. And so like keep going until you get 100 no's, and it's not because we want 100 no's, but you're only going to get a yes for every so many people that you message. And so I think like just keep that in your head. And obviously, you guys have all seen the 100s chart that Danielle uses, like this is my life. But one of the things I did different this month that I got from one of the power hours, I can't remember whose power hour it was taking my 100s chart and putting it in the product catalog, basically.
I think Lacey.
Huh?
I think Lacey did that.
Yeah, I can't remember whose it was, but so I put Post-it notes in my product catalog with all the people that I really thought were potentials this month. And I did not message them right away. First, I went the first maybe week of the month, I went and majorly interacted on all of their Facebook pages. Then started messaging them and, yada, yada, yada to turn them into, and a couple of them did turn into customers. So I think the biggest thing with the no's is just remembering, one, be really organized with it. Unless they flat out say no, you better believe they're getting another message from me. Maybe not right away, but they will. So
yeah, and sometimes Angela would message me and be like, hey, this girl, she hasn't messaged me back. Like, what would you do? How do you go about that? Mm-hmm. Most often I message them. If they don't answer, I get back to them in 2 days, and then I get back to them in 2 weeks. That is my normal, how I follow up. When I'm pushing for a promotion, it is 2 days, and then it's 4 days, and then it's 6 days. Guys, you have to change your mindset when you are quote unquote bugging people. You think in your head you're bugging people. Guess what? You're not bugging them. They're just busy with life, and you are not a priority to them. And as you shouldn't be, you know what I mean? Your job is to show them why you should be a priority to them. So people are busy. People have kids. People have jobs. People have lives. You know what I mean? And sometimes crappy things happen in life, and they go off the face of the earth type of thing, and don't get back to people forever. Mm-hmm. So you just got to keep those things in mind when you're, following up with people. You're not bugging them. You're just following up with them. And hey, did you get my last message? Just wanted to check. Figure out how to word it so that it doesn't sound like you're bugging them. Hey, I'm getting orders in tonight. I just want to follow up with you. I know that you were interested in the greens. Every time you message somebody, end with a question mark so that when they do see it, they feel that they need to get back to you. Okay, number 6. I know you made sacrifices, so I want to hear what sacrifices did you make to push really, really hard this month?
Yeah, and that's a great question. And at the beginning of the month, that's one of the things I was the most nervous about was how am I going to make sacrifices? I am, a mom of 3 and my husband works so much, where do I have room for those sacrifices, And And I think it's different for every single person what your sacrifices are going to be. But for me, especially this month, I think a couple of things would be like, my kids' nap time. Yes, I always did a little extra work during their nap time. But a lot of times I'm like, oh, I'm going to take a nap, or I'm going to watch a show, or I'm going to do something for me right now. And I definitely got rid of that. That was every day during that time I was working. I was staying up late. I told my husband, I'm going to be on the phone a lot this month. I'm going to be messaging a lot. We're going for this bonus. We want this pool. We just signed our contract for our pool. So they're actually, starting here in just a couple of weeks. And I told him, I said, this $5,000 bonus is going to be our pool payment for the next 10 months. Plus some actually. And so I was like, don't complain. And, he actually finally saw the light. I screenshotted it and I sent it to Danielle. He actually sent me a text message the day after I got the bonus. So those of you guys who have husbands or family members that maybe, not don't support you. My husband supported me, but he definitely would give me crap sometimes for how much I was doing it. Is this really going to pay off? Is this really worth it? So he sent me a message, and I'm going to read it to you guys. And he just said, hey, I just wanted you to know that even though I've been giving you a lot of, I don't know if there's kids listening, SHIT, I am very proud of you for accomplishing your goal with It Works. You worked really hard and you deserve to get it. I love you. Congratulations. But so anyways, I know it's kind of mushy, but my point in sharing that, though, is so you have to talk to the people, your support circle too. You have to talk to your family members, your husband, whoever it is, and they have to be on board with it too. And they have to understand, now every month if I was like that, he'd probably divorce me. But promotion months I've learned are different. So
yep, absolutely.
Figure out what works.
Mm-hmm. And I did the same thing. It was like, hey, listen, I'm going to be on my phone a lot. I'm not going to be making dinners, stuff like that. It was very, you have to have them on board with it. Okay. What is your number one tip for sealing the deal since you had 24 enrollments this month?
Yeah. Well, I already kind of touched on, this was really helpful. That was one of the big things, I think. Just keeping track of your potentials, following up with them. The buy the shake and coffee deal that Danielle posted in the beginning of the month was huge.
Fit 15.
Yes, for that's Fit 15. When you say buy the shake and the coffee and get greens cleanse and wraps free, people jumped on that. But the thing I would say that I did probably differently this month, besides kind of how I organized things, was I did host to post at least once a day, had somebody hosting a post for me. And I'd have to look at my list, but probably at least half of my customers this month were from host to post. So
yep, you were always doing host to post. That was huge. I think that was definitely your number one. I think that was huge.
Yeah. So
okay, how many messages do you think that you would send out in one day?
So it's hard to say, but probably on average, I would say at least 50, at least. Okay. And now there was probably some days that were less, but there were a lot of days that were probably even a lot more.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. What do you say to somebody that, and you may have touched on this a little bit, but when someone says, I want to try, but I don't have the money now, or I'm on a budget, I can't afford it, I'm afraid of hidden fees, does this really work? How do I do this? Okay, that type of stuff. How do you overcome those types of responses?
Mm-hmm. I think the money one is a big one. A lot of people, are afraid of the money or afraid of the auto ship. So I just basically, first I'll start by just explaining that it can be any product each month. We have oils for as low as $18 or Fat Fighters for $25, reminding them that they don't have to spend, $100 each month or whatever it is. So first I'll kind of try with that. If I really hit a wall with them and I don't think they're going to budge, then I would ask them to host a post for free product. So that's and then there are potential for the future too, because then, especially if they get the free product, as soon as they get that free product, now you have it in their hands. And now they might be more willing to spend the money on it.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know what I really mean by this, but I wrote, when did you start pushing harder than ever? Maybe that was when the 25th hit. I think that's where I was going with that. Like once the 25th hit and all auto shipments ran, that's, I think, when you and I saw, correct me if I'm wrong, you were around 2,800.
I think it was like 2,500 or something like that. I was short on the 25th.
And it's hard, the 25th, once the 25th hits and all the auto shipments run, you're like, I can't do this. That's a lot.
I was freaking out.
And that's that was probably your third low throughout the whole month. I think that you were like, I just don't think this is going to happen. Like, I'm still going to try, but like, and that's, I think, when Angela and I had to come to Jesus, probably at the gym. But the 25th, I think, once everything ran, you were a good 2,500 away, and we talked and we strategized. So I think, and I'm basically answering this question for you, sorry, just because I don't think you understood what I meant. But for those of you that are pushing, know that once that 25th hits, all auto shipments have ran. And then it's a matter of not changing things up a little bit, but figuring out where you have those holes now, where you have to fill and it's not going to get filled unless it's like a credit card decline or something like that. So I think making a list of goals and it's go time. Like now, like, yes, you were working really hard. Like you were balls to the wall before, but now it's like, okay, we've got 6 days left, 5 days left. Like this is it. It's all or nothing this week, basically. So,
and I did not go Emerald until Saturday. So like I worked till the very end.
Even though I said you are not going on Saturday, you're going on Friday, because I was like, I was getting anxiety.
We were really close on Friday night, and then there was a point on Saturday where I was literally 9 BV away. 9.
But you made it happen.
Not even a good number for any orders.
I know, right? Okay, next question. Did you have a specific strategy? So did you have, like, what did you do specifically with any specific strategies, whether it be charting or whether it be getting customers or whatever?
Honestly, like, yes, the charting was huge. And I told myself, like, I'm just going to run like crazy with customers from day one, because I'll be honest, like, there are a couple people on my team that are not totally like running right now. They have things going on in their lives, like whatever it is. So I knew that I was going to have to push hard to really do it, you know? And it was definitely a teamwork all the way. But I knew there were definitely a couple boxes where it was going to be a challenge, and I even lost a distributor in one of my boxes like halfway through my month. So I think I signed a distributor to fill that box on Thursday.
Yeah, it was like 3 days before, maybe even 2. Yeah.
It was Thursday or Friday. So I was having a little bit of anxiety. I needed some confianza. But the biggest thing was pouring into my group, you know, like we have our own little chat. I have separate from, I know we're all on, you know, Danielle's chat group and all that type of stuff, or most of us are, but I have my own chat group with my team. And I was talking to each of them individually, like making sure that they knew I wanted this for them too. Like I didn't want them to, I mean, obviously like they all know I was going after a bonus, I'm sure, but I didn't want them to think like that was the only reason I was pushing them. And it's not, because I want them Emerald next month. You know, I want them in the same position I'm in. And so I think it's so, so important to take that time to know your team's why too. So like I had like a little sip and sample at my house in the beginning of the month where I invited my team over. You know, I did online live parties for my distributors, not so much so that I could get customers, so that they could get customers too, especially because I have some new distributors on my team who aren't really comfortable doing a live party yet.
I love that you shared that, because I feel like that's so important. I feel like sometimes when people are running after a bonus promotion, whatever, you can get really hung up in it's you for your goals. And I think it was so good that you dove into your team to get to know them on a personal level, and you were running with them after their goals. It wasn't running after them just for like I'm pushing for this bonus or whatever. You took the time to get to know them on a more personal level. And then when you did these parties, you made it a point to say, you know, hey, I'm challenging you guys. This is for you. Like I'm doing this for all of you guys so that you guys can, you know, grow and whether it be to learn too, because some of them were new people.
Yeah. And I had them go on live with me, a couple of them. Yep. So like I ran the party, but I brought them on too, so that they could at least like start getting their feet wet with it.
And didn't you even go live and have them come on just to go live on Facebook? Didn't you do that too?
Yeah.
Okay.
I went live on Facebook randomly with a couple of my distributors, just talking about, like, one of my distributors asked me, she went live on her page and invited me and wanted to like interview me a little bit about being a stay-at-home mom and things like that, so that she could try to get distributors. And she's my distributor that signed 3 distributors this month. So she, like that, I'm not saying that's what did it, but like,
no, yeah,
those little extra things.
Yeah. And I think even for her, I saw a shift, you know what I mean? She started to feel so much more comfortable, and she was going live more, and she was feeling comfortable talking about the business more. So helping your team maybe with their struggles, figuring out what their struggles are, you know what I mean? Like having that open communication and say, hey, what are you struggling with? I'm struggling with signing distributors. Okay, how can I help you? Let's go live on Facebook, maybe tomorrow sometime or whatever, and then we can talk about the business. Because like my cousin right now that just signs, like she doesn't know a lot about the business, but I'm like, Michaela, let's go live together. Let's talk about it. I'm here, like use me. Like you're not supposed to know all these questions. You know, you do learn as you go. So make sure you are putting yourself out there for your team, especially those new people, because they're not as confident as we are in the business, but they will be. They just have to be more engaged with us and more open to learning as they go, and, you know, stuff like that. But once they become more comfortable, you know, like that one distributor, like they take off, like they really do. Hey.
Yeah.
All right. Next one. What kind of challenges did you do for your team?
I did a couple different things. Obviously I did a lot of customer challenges. Like when I would sign a customer, I can tell you, I did not keep this. I don't do this every month, but it's a promotion month. I did not keep one customer that I signed this month. I challenged every single person on my team and to get a customer, and I would move my customer. And so that was one of the big things that I did with challenges.
Hang on, before you go on further to talk about other challenges, I want you to touch on my next question is, how important is it for you to lead from the front with enrollments? And I want you to touch on that because of you giving challenges for customers.
Right. Well, and I just think, obviously, to go Emerald, we need everybody on our team pushing too. And we can't ask them to push and ask them to sign customers if we're not doing it. And so that's what I think made it easier in some ways is I had all these customers I signed, so I could constantly be saying, I signed a customer, you sign a customer, and I'll move it, or whatever it is, somewhere on your team. So by having 20 whatever customers that I signed this month, I was constantly able to challenge people on my team. So, and I know trust me, I know, like last month I signed 4 customers. Now, last month was a totally different story. I'll be honest, my head was not in it. But if I only had 4 customers this month to challenge people with, like, there's no way.
Yeah. Yep. And I honestly think, take it for what it's worth, but I think that's the golden ticket. I think right there, like, yeah, you put behind all the work. You did host to post. You worked your butt off. But if you were not signing customers, if you were working your butt off and not signing customers, something would not have clicked. Yeah. So I think it all has to come together. If you're working your butt off and you're not capitalizing on the customers, and of course I've said this a bazillion times, you've got to change it up. You've got to figure out what's working and what's not working. And sometimes I talk to people and they say, well, I've done host to post, but no one's doing it for me. You have to find people that will do host to post. Like, they're out there. You just have to find it and figure out what works for you. So I swear by saying the golden ticket for you was the fact that you were a rock star enroller, and not every month you are. So this month you got down to work, you figured out what was working for you, and you ran with it, and you signed a ton of customers so that you could challenge your team. And kind of, I guess what I've told you before is you've got to be signing customers so that you have a quote unquote reason to bug your team. You know what I mean? You want to be constantly talking to them, but you don't want to constantly be like, what are you doing? Have you signed a customer today? That's annoying. Like, you don't want to be like asking them what they've done. No, you want to be leading from the front and be like, hey girl, let's go. Like, I just signed somebody from host to post. This is what I said. Like, you know, you want to be sharing with them what's working for you and then challenging them and, hey, go do this. I just tried this. And you were so good at that. If something was working for you, you shared it with your team. And I only know all this because I'm in their group chat, but you were really good about that. So anything.
Yeah, that's the thing. I would screenshot like things for them that I wanted them to do or that was working. I remember following up with like every like on our posts too, remembering that too. Like I specifically writing something for my team because somebody had just liked my post and I messaged her and she was like, oh yeah, I've really been wanting to order the cleanse. I think it was the cleanse forever. I've been seeing your posts and I just haven't messaged you. I haven't had time. Like, I'm like, so it's like, you know, some people are just scrolling through and that's exactly it. They don't have time to message you. They might like your post. They see it, but they're not, you know, you have to kind of go after them a little bit. So, so I always had some sort of challenge going too. If I didn't have a customer to give away, I came up with something else. Like, hey, let's do 100 BV challenge today. Or I don't even know if I still have it right.
Talk about your 1,000 right at the very end, your team 1,000 BV challenge.
Yeah. And what's funny is we did meet this, but I didn't end up finish coloring it just because it got so crazy on the last day. But this is like so cheesy, just a piece of paper that I drew out because I didn't have time to do anything else and took a picture of, and it's 1,000, I don't know if you can see it very clearly, but it's just 1,000 BV challenge that I did for my team. And I took a picture of it and sent it to the group chat and was like, let's get to 1,000. And if we do, I can't remember exactly what I said, to be honest. I'd have to look back. My brain is fried. But I think it was like I had a little goodie bag for everyone on the team or something, which kind of leads into something, you know, something else. Like I said, I always had some sort of challenge going. So one of the things I've been doing lately is like when I'm out and about, if I see little things that like I think my team would like or whatever, I'm trying to start like collecting things. Like these are totally random, but these were $1 the other day at the Dollar Tree, and it says like good vibes only. And you know, I got these diamond pins that Danielle had showed me about, and a couple other little things, so that when I put these challenges out, I can actually like send it to my team and within a reasonable time, so that it's not like I'm making all this up, you know. So
yeah, definitely. And I think the thing is with the challenges is for anybody that's pushing, it gives you that reason to quote unquote bug them and help them and guide them and support them. And it's not you know, actually bugging them and being obnoxious. Okay.
Real quick. One of the things, I know this goes back to one of the previous questions, but like, I have, and I don't remember, I know this is in Diamond Dreams somewhere. I don't know where I got this, but this little chart right here, it's called Play Big Daily To-Dos. So that at bare minimum, if I had a busy day or a rough day, like I know there was a weekend where I had family in town and I knew I wasn't going to get much done. I had, 14 people, I think it was, staying in my house. I was ready to have an anxiety attack.
That gave me anxiety. I was like, what are you doing? Do you need to come over?
Yeah, they all came over for spring training from California. But anyways, I knew I wasn't going to get much done, but at bare minimum, I wanted to make sure I got this checklist done. So I'm pretty sure this is in Diamond Dreams, but like just as an example, like it says, you know, every day is a little bit different. So it says on Tuesday, it's 15 minutes of self-development, an inspirational post, add 10 new Facebook friends, comment or like on Facebook for 15 minutes, add people on Instagram, do a product post, message 20 people. And then it says customer care. So like going through and checking on your customers. But now it sounds like that's a long list, but those are all things that I could probably get that whole list done in less than an hour. So at bare minimum, I was making sure I was getting these things done.
Okay. One thing I just want to touch on real quick is obviously Angela and I talked on a daily basis and she asked me questions and whatever, but the thing that I find so important is when you are pushing, you have to be self-determined and self-focused. I never was like, what did you do today? Did you do a checklist? Let's talk about what happened and what you're doing tomorrow. Like I never had to hold her hand and tell her what to do or ask her what she did or ask her what's working. I never felt like that. I never did any of that. I was nervous when her family was in town because I was like, oh my God, is she not going to be able to do anything? Like what is going to happen? And then, and it's like, she's like out and taking pictures. And then like, we talked after we talked, but like, we didn't talk really business then. And then we talked after a couple of days and she like was signing customers like while family was there. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, oh my gosh, like, how do you do it? But that's what happens on promotional months, is that sometimes you look back and you're like, holy crap, that was an insane month, but I did it, I made it, and it was insane. And I'm really glad I pushed.
Which reminds me real quick too, that was one of the things I don't think maybe I've done it before, but I've never really done like the giveaways as much, the giveaway posts. And that was one of the things I did this month. I did 2 big ones. I did the St. Patrick's Day one that I think I got it from Megan, posting like the green things. And then I did the coffee cups that Danielle did. And those were great because first of all, you kind of control who your winner is. So you better believe I picked a strong potential to be my winner. But then I messaged every single person that participated too and gave them, I know you didn't win, but here's a deal I have for you. So that was another really successful way to get customers.
That coffee cup post was huge for me. It still is huge for me. Like, it's still like feeding off of it. Excuse me. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go just scroll through my page. It was probably last week. And I just posted a picture of 3 coffee cups. And then people had to pick which number they wanted. And then I picked a winner, and then I followed up with everybody. And for me, most of you guys that are on my team here are in my Rockstars chat. Oh my God, I'm sorry. My throat was like killing me. I messaged them and I said, hey, thanks for participating. Sorry you didn't win, but for everybody that did comment, I'm offering this special. And you guys, the Fit 15, I offered all month long, and it got me huge success. And it also got Angela huge success too. But how you word it is so key. So I'm offering everybody this special, and I would always put an end on it. I would say today and tomorrow. So yeah, there you go. That post.
I don't know if you can see that very well, but it's that one.
And guys, I put that up, and Angela saw that mine took off like wildfire. What, you went to Target that night and bought coffee cups?
Yeah, I did.
There was no excuses. Like, she was like, I need coffee cups. Like, she could have easily been like, hey, can I steal that picture and I'll buy a coffee cup off of you? Or she could have easily, but she went to Target right then and bought coffee cups and did the same post, and it was successful for her as well. So follow leaders and see what's working for them and duplicate it. That's what this business is all about, is duplicating what others are doing. And lean on your leaders. Like, even if, like Alexis, like, I didn't personally enroll Alexis, but Alexis has proven herself already. And she is like a runner, and I see her as a diamond already. I did not enroll her, but I'm like, girlfriend, whatever you need, like, let me know, because that's what I want. I want runners on this team, and I want to help as many people as possible get to diamond and above and to reach their goals. So turn to whoever you need to, but definitely, duplicate what others are doing and follow their lead. Okay, do you have any last thing that you want to share, or does anybody have any last question that you want to ask?
I think too, like, even just Christian, this is Christian, by the way, Christian coming in right now and sitting right here. There were times this month where, like, I'll be honest, like, I kind of felt like I was ignoring my kids a little bit, or, not giving them as much attention as I should. And it was really hard to push through. And I'm sure, even if you don't have kids, I'm sure there's something in your life that, like, you could relate that to. And I just had to keep telling myself, like, it's not, promotion months are not every month. And these guys are my why. Like, they're the reason I'm doing this. So they're going to reap the benefits of it, So just, I don't know, like, those struggles are going to happen, and just do your best to, like, push through them and remember why.
And don't let your why become your excuse. Yeah. So that's something that was really hard for me. There were promotional months where Parker would be in front of the TV watching Mickey Mouse. And I was like, you know what? I felt like crap. I felt so bad that I was doing that, but I was like, I want to be a stay-at-home mom. I need this, and I know I can do this, but he's going to have to watch a lot of Mickey Mouse this month. And you know what? Who cares? Like, look at him now. He's fine. Like, it didn't hurt him. So there's going to be things that if you really want something, you're going to have to push. You're going to have to push really hard. And for me, like, when I pushed for triple, I missed it. Like, I missed triple because I was probably like 3,000 BV away. I could not make it happen. I just couldn't. I worked my butt off right to the last day. You know what? I felt bad for myself. I just told Kate, one of my newest distributors too, I told her, I said, listen, when stuff happens, you can feel bad for yourself. It's okay. But you can only feel bad for yourself for like 5, maybe 10 minutes if it's really bad. And then you pick yourself back up and you go. And I did. When I missed that triple bonus, I was so down. I was so down about it, but I picked myself back up and I ran like crazy that following month, and I ended up getting it the following month. So I know that there's things in life and, you know, things in this business that bring you down, but it's such a mindset game. It's all in your mindset. And if you can really get your mind in the right spot, and you've got to be strong. Guys, when you go through those ups and downs, like, that shows me personally, it shows me how strong you guys are. You're good, Angela. We're almost done anyways.
He's like in here naked, so I'm like,
oh, whatever, they're kids. But anyways, so that's pretty much it. So I was just going to say that when you go through those downs, like, it just shows me like how strong you really are in this business and how strong you're going to be as a leader, and even better for your team. So, all right. So we're going to wrap it up. Boys are getting naked over there. It's getting crazy and rowdy. I'm going to stop the recording, but